Hey, everybody, welcome into the 815 Sports Podcast. We got Colin Renner here tonight. We got Tanner Haar on Zoom. We're really excited to do this. One of these weeks, like Tanner just said, we got to get him in the studio. We've only had him on the Zoom, but we got a lot of good games this week, and we're going to kick it off with the Rams and Niners Thursday Night Football tomorrow. Jake, go ahead.
I got the Rams over the Niners on the road. I think when the Rams are healthy, I think they have one of the best offenses in all of football. I don't know if you guys think that, but
it looked pretty damn good.
That was Sunday. That might be the game of the year. Rams Bills last week.
Yeah, it was a great game. I just thought it was crazy. Allen throws for 3 touchdowns and rushes for 3 touchdowns, and they lose.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rams always had an answer for them. They got a ton of weapons on the outside. You got cutback. You got Puka Nacua making crazy sideline plays.
Dan, you call it.
Kyron Williams, he's just a savage. And then you got Stafford leading him. So I think the Rams are a good team, but I got San Fran in this one. At home, I know they're beat up, but give me Purdy. Give me San Fran at home.
I'm with T. I'm going San Fran home. I think it's tough to do what the Rams did last week, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Coming off a big game, and San Fran's at home, so I'm going with San Fran.
Yeah, especially on the road. It's going to be a tough environment, and both these teams are still playing for the division, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
I don't think Seattle's kind of ran away with it yet.
They're 7-5.
So
8-5. Sorry.
Man, I just think they've got a 1-2-3 headed monster in LA, and if it gets going, you do not want, like in a playoff game, you do not want to see that team coming into your home. That's a scary team to play.
I'd play the Rams in the playoffs.
Right.
There's 2 teams I don't want to play in the playoffs, and they're the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody, go ahead and play it.
The only way you'll see those teams is the divisional round, and the Packers aren't going to make it. So
okay. we know the Bears are going to be there.
Oh yeah, the Bears.
I got to agree with Gator. I got the Niners Thursday night.
Good Thursday night match.
It is. They've had a few really good matchups lately. I just think San Francisco, they're at home. I think the Rams gave the Bills everything they had last week, and I don't know if they're going to be able to continue that into a short week.
But I mean, I don't also think the San Francisco's offense is as good as Buffalo's.
And Guriendo's going to miss this week, it looks like. Hasn't been ruled yet. But
Patrick Taylor.
Yeah.
X-Pack.
Yeah, on the 4th string running back.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they could really give the ball to anybody in that offense, and they're gonna, be fantasy football productive. So,
what about Juwan Jennings?
Juwan Jennings is good.
He's been a dog.
He's wide receiver 1 now. There,
season.
Did you see Twitter? Twitter community noted him and said, "Actually, you lead the team in drops."
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
No, he's good. I like it. I like Jennings.
Yeah. Stosh, to your point, I don't think Deebo's going to have a big game. Personally, I think he's looked washed this year. He's hardly ran the ball. That was a big thing that he did, in the past few years.
Deebo,
28, which is it isn't a bad age.
I think San Francisco as a whole has just looked off this year as an organization, as a team that we always expect to be there and always expect to be good, and they just haven't.
Yeah, they've definitely been one of the biggest disappointments of the season.
Here they sit 6-7 with a chance to get to 500. So
yeah. A lot of people thought it was going to be a 10-win team. They could still get there mathematically, but it's going to be tough sledding.
Tanner, Stosh says that you have the perfect face for radio.
Thank you, Stosh. I appreciate it.
No, it's not.
Shout out, Stosh.
Next game, Kansas City at Cleveland. I'm going to go ahead and pick Kansas City in this one. They win every single close game they're in. I'm not saying this one's going to be close, but every game they played in this year has basically been close. In Cleveland, like you were saying beforehand, Jameis throws a lot of picks. He is fun to watch, but he throws a lot of picks. And I trust Kansas City to go into Cleveland and win this game.
I think Kansas City wins too, but I just feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are the least impressive 11-win team. Or what is the record? 12-win team.
They're 12-1 now.
I've ever seen, because every single time I watch the Chiefs, it's a 1-score game. I just don't understand. It could come back to bite them in the ass in the playoffs if this is how they're going to play these games, especially when they're playing these bad teams the way they're playing.
Yeah, they seem to play to the teams that they're playing's level. And
right.
That's not really indicative of Andy Reid coach squad. I got KC also. They're not massive favorites. They're 4.5 on the spread. I like KC. If I was to bet, I'd take KC for sure. And the points, I think they win by a touchdown to 2 touchdowns.
I don't think there's any reason to just Kansas City's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that.
I mean, unless we get a Jameis Winston snow globe game again.
Well,
I mean,
Jameis Winston still throws two pick sixes a game. So
I just expect this to be a close game because that's what Kansas City does.
I could see it.
yeah,
And
for
I'm
sure.
The dog pound is not an easy place to play. Ask the Ravens.
Those fans are kind of defeated this year.
I mean,
but
they've had
agree.
a couple. Well, I mean, they've been deflated their whole life.
Yeah, I mean, it's Cleveland sports. It's been terrible.
Like Kansas City, Renner just said, doinked in their extra point basically to win the game.
They got away
Yeah.
with all starts.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, the PI, even going back to week 1, the Isaiah Likely touchdown with his toe on the white line. I mean, it's just play after play at end of games, and they always seem to win.
Yeah, they did. They fucking that should have been passed.
I mean, they find ways to win. Kudos to them, but
Yeah.
it could bite them in the ass in the playoffs versus better.
Well, you
teams.
got to think they always got the zebras on their side.
Well, their
too.
defense is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely keeps them in them.
Yeah, for sure. They
What up, Tate?
they keep the opposite team that they're playing to low point totals, and Mahomes pulls out some bullshit at the end and wins the game. I mean, that's just been their recipe this year. But 12-1 is an incredible record. I think they can get that to 14, 15 wins.
They've already clinched the playoff spot.
Yeah. I think they're still probably the Super Bowl favorite. I know Detroit's getting a lot of hype right now, and rightfully so. I think they're very, very good. But KC has been there, 4 out of 5 years now?
Yeah.
They've been in the Super Bowl. I know they lost one of them, but they're scary.
Stosh says Likely should have wore white cleats.
He should have. He would have gotten that. He would have gotten away with that toe. I thought it was funny on Twitter how people should have said he should have amputated his toe.
Let's see. What's the next game? Bengals at Titans. I don't have much to say about Tennessee. Joe Burrow's having one of the best years ever. Jamar Chase is having an outstanding year. I got the Bengals on the road against the Titans.
Yeah, I got the Bengals in a rout. I picked the Titans last week versus the Jags. I know that was everybody's favorite game of the week. It's absolutely terrible, sickening game. But I've got the Bengals in a rout over Tennessee. Cincinnati is. We talked about San Francisco being the worst. What am I trying to say? That we thought they would be better.
Underachieving?
Yes,
Underachieving.
underachieving.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati Bengals are doing the same thing.
If Cincinnati somehow sneaks in,
Yeah.
can Joe Burrow win the MVP?
I mean,
If they get into the playoffs?
I mean, his stats are gross. I saw something on Twitter, and it was Joe Burrow's stats. When you put it up against other people that have produced that much through this time span of the year, it's like Tom Brady, and the records were like all over 12 wins.
yeah.
Drew Brees did it once.
Rodgers.
Rodgers did it once. He's having an MVP caliber season. Very low picks. The Titans, they're defeated, man. That week, last week against the Jags, they were winning the whole game. They couldn't score a touchdown, and they blew it at the end. So
The Bengals defense is awful. That's why their record's so bad.
Hey,
But I
while
mean,
while we're on the Bengals, I got a question. At the end of the game there where Dallas blocked the punt and then the Bengals recovered the punt and they got a first down out of that. Isn't that kind of a bullshit rule?
Yeah. It was
strange.
I never seen it.
that was crazy, Cole.
Yeah, that's a pretty defeating way to lose. I just wanted to bring that up, but
I'll take Cincinnati there.
yeah.
yeah, this is
I like the running back. He's from Illinois, Chase Brown, Canadian.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's baller in fantasy.
He's got a
PPR
brother,
stuff.
the Eagles too.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't know any of that. So
Hey, remember when I thought Zach Moss was the RB1 there?
yeah, yeah, I do. I remember telling you were wrong.
Yeah. I have no trust in Tennessee. They've looked horrible. They've blown a lot of leads. They blew that week 1 to Chicago. The Bears had no business winning winning that game.
Not talk about who they beat this year, so we can just move on from that. They're probably lone and only one win is to the fucking Dolphins.
Stas says he fell for Zach Moss too. All right, let's see. Washington at Saints. Derek Carr going to be out. Could be out probably the rest of the year. I'm going to take Washington. They're sitting there in the 7th seed in the NFC. They got a chance to take over the 6th seed, I think, if the Packers lose this week. But I got Washington in this game. I think they're a much better team than New Orleans.
Yeah, I got Washington too. I think they continue their pretty decent season that they've had. I mean, compared to the years past, you always like to see Washington on the schedule because it's going to be a win, but not so fast, not anymore.
I'll take Washington as well. And if I was the Saints, I'd take the opportunity of Derek Carr being out to just go ahead and get rid of him in the offseason.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he can win games. And I don't think he deserves to be there. So there you go.
He had that one
He's-
MVP year.
Yeah,
and
one.
ACL.
I
He'd
don't
be
think-
like a decent backup,
Yeah.
right?
Good backup.
He'd be an exceptional backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good backup.
Yeah, I think it's a clean sweep for the Commanders this week. I think we're all on them now. The one thing is the Superdome's a hard place to play.
Yeah, it is.
But with your quarterback being hurt, I have no confidence in the Saints' offense.
Who's the quarterback then?
What's that?
It's
Who's the-
not Spencer Rattler anymore. Who the hell they have in there last week?
Who's the quarterback that's going to start for the
They're not going to
Saints?
start Rattler?
Well, when I was watching the Giants Saints game, they had somebody else back there, and I never
Ripper,
It
maybe?
might have been Ripper. It might have been something
Oh,
Rippin.
fuck.
yeah.
Yeah, Hammer wants
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, he's ripping socks.
Might not score a touchdown. Saints might not score a touchdown.
Yeah, no, that's I think that's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, should be.
Washington 7.5-point favorites on the road. If that game was in Washington, they'd be a 10, 11-point favorite all day long.
I'd probably
So,
I'd probably Hammer.
yeah, double-digit spreads in the NFL's, I mean, just ass.
I also
Oh,
like
we
Brian
lost
Robinson.
Tanner.
I also like Brian Robinson to find the end zone.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice.
Hopefully Tanner can hop back in. But we hop into the Ravens-Giants game. Baltimore having a really good year. Not the best year. I mean, there are some games that have gotten away from them. But, I mean, if they win this weekend, they're going to – I think they clinch this weekend. They're basically a 99% chance to make the playoffs. And then they're playing against the Giants, who are beyond feeble. A tough loss last week. I know Jake's a huge Giants guy, but I got the Ravens in this one.
Yeah, I got the Ravens 2 in a route off the Giants train. But Baltimore does this every year where they're a really good team, but man, they lose some games that Lamar's got to start winning,
And let teams stay in there.
right? Lamar's got to start winning some of these big games. That's his kicker, right? Like Lamar's great, very good quarterback, but when's he going to get over that hump?
I really like Lamar. I'd say Baltimore wins the game pretty easily.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can go to the Super Bowl or not, but I like them. So, yeah, I'll take Baltimore.
Yeah, this is a sweep. I mean, this game really isn't interesting. I mean, it might be a game where you could sit Lamar in the 4th.
Yeah, he might.
So
Maybe. It seems like every NFL game's close, though. It seems
Yeah,
like
that's
just
true.
about
There is
everyone's
a lot-
close.
yeah.
Or you can never really pull away. In this one, and Tanner's back.
There he is.
Technical difficulties there, Tanner?
Sorry about that, gentlemen. We had some technical difficulties. The audio cut out, so I re-entered the FaceTime.
I got you. Well, we just picked the Ravens-Giants game. We assume you got the Ravens?
Yeah, I got the Ravens in a landslide. They're 16.5-point favorites currently.
holy
I think Lamar Jackson's just way too much. The Giants are really down. I know this game's at MetLife, but I mean the Ravens offense is just it's got too many weapons, and I think it's going to be a blowout.
You said 16.5?
16.5 currently.
One of the biggest spreads of the year.
Yeah, it's up there. The over/under is only at 42.5. So when you have a big spread like that and a low point total, they don't think the Giants are going to score many points, and I agree with the book on this one.
Huge fucking spread.
Yeah, it's a massive spread.
Wow. But
Might see a first half just mauling in that game.
Yeah, I don't think the Ravens are going to play their starters.
A
the
new
whole game.
haircut, though, for Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah, he did
Yeah.
cut his hair. I saw that. Yep.
He might have 2 starts on Sunday.
Might be a little faster.
The Giants only have 2 wins on the year. I don't even know who they beat. They lose every week, and I think that's going to be a bloodbath.
We hop into this other game though. Cowboys at Panthers. The Panthers have been playing
Very good.
really well.
Very
I mean,
good
they're right
football.
there against a lot of the. They almost beat the Eagles last week.
They almost beat
They
the
almost
Chiefs.
beat the Chiefs. Bryce Young has started to look like the first overall pick that he was, so I give him a lot of credit. And I give him so much credit that I'm going to pick Carolina at home to beat Dallas.
I'm taking Carolina at home as well. I just like the way they've been playing, and I think they're not going up against a Kansas City or who's the other team?
An Eagles
Or an
team.
Eagle team, which they did that
And
on
they
the
almost beat the
road.
Bucs.
They
Yeah.
did that in Philadelphia. You
Yeah.
know, remember that. Now they're at home and they get to face America's team, who I don't think's that good. So I like the Carolina Panthers.
I'm gonna take Dallas in this one. I just think they have too many good players. I just can see CeeDee Lamb having a nice day. Michael Parsons,
They're the better team for
Yeah.
sure. I just think
Cooper Rush is a problem. But
Yeah, I'm also on Dallas. Give me Dallas. Give me Big D in Dallas.
you want America's team.
I'll take America's team. I can't stand their fans. I think their fans are just awful. But Cooper Rush is a problem, but I think that Dallas is a lot more talented than the Panthers. The Panthers, they don't have a lot of wins on the season. They finish basically last in their division every year. They're 3-10. They've only scored 233 points this season, which is, I think, the lowest in the NFL. It's definitely up there. And I know Bryce Young has, come along a little bit more. He's starting to show more promise than he has previously, but I'm taking Dallas in this
Yeah.
one.
Too. I think
You know-
I think he's been very good.
He threw an absolute dime to Leggett at the end of the game, and Leggett dropped it. That would have won the game.
Yeah, he's got some.
Would have been down at the 1 yard line.
No, he rolled into the end
Oh,
zone.
he rolled into
He
the
would have
end zone.
scored, yeah. And
Yeah.
then 123-22.
you see what the Jet was talking about today on the
Eating raccoons?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
This is what he had for Thanksgiving, he said.
I was laughing at that.
So we got a split 2-2.
Yeah.
2-2 there. Yep.
The New York Jets, who they should have beat the Dolphins. Let's be real here. I got the Jets in this one against Jacksonville. Mac Jones is a very feeble quarterback. So I don't really have much to say here. I think the Jets are pretty feeble as well. Aaron Rodgers' Netflix show comes out this week. That might be the most exciting thing for this Jets team all year. I'm going to give it a watch, but I got the Jets in this game.
What have I told you all year about the Jets?
You say it every week. They're going to jet.
They jet. I have no idea how the Dolphins won that game because the Jets outplayed them for 3 quarters. But then the all-important 4th quarter comes and the Jets everything gets thrown in the air and they forget how to play football. But you got to take them this week versus Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's awful, which I thought they might be a sleeper team this year early on. Not the case. I got the Jets.
I'm going to take Jacksonville because I would never bet on Aaron Rodgers to win another game in the NFL. And I won't be watching his sideshow thing he's doing on Netflix
Enigma.
because it's just weird. And
Yeah.
I'll take the Jags, and I don't think they're a good team at all. So
You think Rogers is going to be high on ayahuasca during that?
Psychedelics? I don't know.
Yes.
who knows?
Give me the Jets. Jets.
You're
I
sick.
should have wore your Jet sweatshirt, Tanner.
I have it hanging in the closet. I was going to get it out and put it
That
on
was
just for
sick.
Hard Car. I think the Jags are terrible. A really, really, really bad team. A poorly coached team. Their coach is
fired. He's gonna
coach
be
is good.
fired.
Coach is definitely going to get fired. The AFC South just as a whole just hasn't produced outside of Houston, who has had kind of a down year for them.
I
But
think they're going to be a lot better this year.
yeah,
When
me too.
was the last time that division produced a very good team? It's been a while since maybe Jacksonville 3 years ago when
Jacksonville in what was it, 2020 when they made it to the AFC?
No, that was
Championship?
2017.
Oh, okay.
was that long ago?
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
I don't think so.
It was
either.
2017.
You know, it was
Stash,
Trevor Lawrence.
It was.
Stash, give me a fact check on that, please.
I'm talking about the year they beat him. They almost beat Brady with Blake Bortles.
Yeah, but
That was wild.
they made a
That was. I know that was.
they made a
2017,
playoff.
yeah.
They had a really good year with Trevor Lawrence
They
too.
did. They beat.
They did. The chart.
Yeah, Stosh is right. I thought the Titans made it there, and they played probably the Chiefs. I think they won the game, but I don't think they made it to the AFC
I
Championship.
think the Jaguars played,
No,
Houston.
the Titans did make it to the AFC Championship.
and they
I'm
ended
pretty
up
sure.
leading forever.
I thought.
Yeah,
Let me look it up.
I think that's what it was.
but yeah, give me the Jets. They're a slight favorite on the book. Over under at 40.5. It's probably going to be a pretty low scoring game. Both those offenses are putrid. So, but I'll take the Jets in a close one.
Miami at Houston.
Speaking of Houston,
what?
they're up now.
They're up.
He's saying we're doing the Houston Dolphins.
Oh, okay. Bad. I got Miami in this one. I think they've been playing a little bit better football as of late. I think Tua can complete a lot of passes. That's for sure. I know he throws a lot of short passes, but they got a lot of weapons there. And
Take what the defense
And
gives you.
CJ Stroud is not, he kind of looks like a deer in headlights this year to me. He doesn't look nearly as precise as he did last year. And I think Miami needs this game, and I think Miami's going to get it.
I think do or die. This is a do or die for Miami. I think they might play a little bit more balls out than Houston, knowing that if they lose, their season's over. And I just like the way the Dolphins have been playing as a whole. Offense, defense. The Tua's been taking what they've given him. If you can tell, he hasn't been throwing the ball like he was doing last year to Tyreek and Jalen because it's just not there. So he's taking the checkdowns. He's they're slow, methodically moving the ball downfield, which still leads to 6 and 7 points if you score. And I just, the way Tua's been playing since his injury, Jonnu Smith's been an absolute big signing for the Dolphins. I know he was bad last game until overtime, and then he absolutely went insane. But this is going to be a really, really good game because I think it's going to be back and forth offensively, and I think it's going to be who scores the most points. Maybe it'll be who has the ball last.
It's always who scores the
Wins.
most points, Jake.
Well, whoever has the ball last, I think they're going to go point for point.
Me personally, I would never come on this podcast and not take the Finns. Finns up, I'm going with them. And I think Houston is just a pretender. I don't think they're going to go anywhere in the playoffs. And I don't think CJ Stroud's that good ever since whatever he did to Caleb Williams in that week. I didn't like it. And I don't think he's that good. And Joe Mixon, I think he's on steroids. So there you go.
Joe Mixon's been
Yep.
a dog this year.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
They've been playing pretty not as good as it. They started out really well, and they've just kind of slid off the.
Where'd Joe Mixon? I mean, he hasn't done this in his whole career, really, not this good.
Yeah.
And then
no.
all of a sudden he gets traded to the Texans and he's Derrick Henry. Something weird. Something's weird's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, he's been a stat stuffer this year. I like how Miami's been moving the ball, but give me the Houston Texans in this one.
Yeah.
Stroud's having a down year. I agree with that. His main problem is his turnovers. What does he have, 11, 12 picks already? He's thrown a lot of picks.
Well, the Dolphins are not good at getting takeaways, so he might be out this week.
Well,
I
they're
think
playing the dome, though, so Dolphins got a good shot.
I think it's going to be a close matchup, but I like the Texans at home. Miami has not impressed me. I know, Jake, you've been cussing at them all season.
They're terrible. They're just a decent football team. So all the teams are just in the pit of misery.
With how the AFC is shaken out, I think the Dolphins are probably going to have to get to that 10-win mark to get into the playoffs. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, they have to win out.
They have to win out, and you're right. It is do or die for Miami, but and maybe Houston will play a little more lax because that division's pretty much wrapped up. The 3 teams below them are awful.
Yeah.
Just a putrid division from basically top to bottom. I thought the Texans were really good, but
I see on Twitter, Mike McDonald's job is safe. Is from what I'm hearing, his job is safe. I don't know why it's safe.
I don't think it should be if they
I agree.
don't make the playoffs.
Because now I understand this is his 3rd year and they made the playoffs in both of his first 2 years.
As the last seed.
Well,
In a first round exit, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They've exited first round.
Yeah.
both years.
Yep.
He hasn't won a playoff game, and his roster's been loaded.
Right.
I mean, the
He's got-
expectations are high, and he hasn't produced.
Right. So, I hear he's soft, and he needs to stop being so fucking. All they do is laugh on the sidelines. The Dolphins are losing, and he's laughing with Tyreek and Tua. No, why are you like?
I got two things. All right, so really quick, back to the Jags. They lost in 2022 in the divisional round of the Chiefs. The last time they made it to one other thing I got on here. Jake, in 2000 they played the Dolphins, or in 1999 and they beat 62-7.
I know that. That was Dan Marino's
62 to
last
fucking
game.
7.
Oh man!
Holy shit. 60 piece.
He had to fucking throw that in there. I knew it.
Yeah.
Waiting for that.
My brother also wanted me to give him a shout out and say that he likes Nico Collins for first touchdown this weekend.
Yeah.
So I had to throw it in there. I forgot. So
I'll play Nico Collins on Mike Runner's shout out.
oh yeah.
Nico will be getting a play for first TD from me. I like that.
And then I got a question for you guys. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't. When you look at the wild card teams, okay, like the Ravens, the Broncos, and the Chargers all sitting at 8-5. And the Dolphins need a lot to happen to get in. Okay. But do you honestly think that they're better than any of those three teams?
Who?
The Dolphins.
Miami.
I don't think Miami's better than any of those teams.
I think they might be better than the Broncos. And even the Chargers.
I think
No.
the Chargers or Broncos.
I don't think
On
they
any
could
given
beat the
Sunday.
Ravens.
I think they're probably not quite as good as those teams, but I think they could win.
They're
Chargers, I think it would come down to coaching. I think Harbaugh's a
Yeah.
better coach than.
I think Peyton's a better coach too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he-
Well, they're both better coached, but I mean, the two is like 2-1 versus the Ravens in his career. So, and the Ravens were the better team when they played each other.
Ravens defense will give up points to an offense like that.
I don't think Miami is a better team than any of those teams, but obviously Miami could win, a head-to-head matchup against any of them, really. I mean, they're not untouchable.
Team than those to get in. If they lose their games and we win ours,
Yeah, I'm just saying. I hope Miami makes it for you, Jake, but I don't think they're going.
they ain't
to this
making the
year.
fucking playoffs. There's just a sliver of hope just to let me down.
Yeah, it's
After that, then
well, that hope will be gone on Sunday because they're going to get their ass kicked by Houston. So
yeah.
I don't think they. I don't think so. Colts Broncos. I got the Broncos in this one. I really like how Bo Nix has been playing this year. He's kind of up there now in that Rookie of the Year conversation. The Colts. I mean, they're right there on the bubble too, just in front of the Dolphins. So Jake, I don't know who you probably want Indianapolis to win this game. Really, realistically, you probably want Indianapolis to win this game.
Well, I seen that the Colts have an easier last 4 games than the Broncos, so they're saying you want the Broncos to win because the Broncos might lose a couple of their last 3 games
Yeah.
where the Colts are going to win out.
At home, though, I got the Broncos. What do you think?
I got the Broncos as well. I think they're the better team. I like the way they've been playing. Really well coached. I like Nix. I just like everything they're doing. But this is going to be a good game because the Colts are a decent football team too. And Richardson, you never know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
But this can be a good game. I like Denver though.
I'll take the Broncos here too. I really like Cortland Sutton. I think he's a huge receiver.
Yeah,
I
he's
think he
been
helped Bo
awesome.
Nix out a
Yeah.
lot. He had a game where he had 0 catches this year, and ever since then he's just been a monster. I like him. I'll take them. And then Indianapolis, I don't think Anthony Richardson's very good. But
Yeah, he's one. You don't know what Richardson you're going to get.
they have Jonathan Taylor, though. I think Jonathan Taylor could probably have a nice day here.
Richardson is a bust. Bust.
Capital
I agree.
B-U-S-T.
Give me Denver at home. -4 on the spread. I think they might be my lock of the week. I'm really liking that line. Maybe tease it down to 3. Yeah, Denver at home. The Colts, they're on the bubble. They're not going to make the playoffs. I think Miami is better than the Colts. Richardson hasn't impressed me. He, what week was it? Week 4 or 5. He, walked to the sideline because he was tired. That's just unacceptable. You have a freak athlete and he can't play a whole game.
Especially a quarterback.
Right.
They seem to just be in ugly games, and
Yeah.
it's every week they play.
Well, I think the record is, around 500 because their division is so bad.
Yeah.
I know they only play those bad teams a few times a year, but
That's 6 games.
I don't think the Colts have not impressed me at all this season. I mean, I'm down on Indianapolis. I don't think they have their quarterback for the future. I think they're wasting Jonathan Taylor's career.
Well, they've done that, yeah.
They have an awful run defense. They can't stop a nosebleed, as Bart Scott would say. Yeah, I'm down on the Colts. Give me the Broncos at home.
The Broncos have no run game though. But
No, they don't have a running back. They don't have one. They got Marvin Mims is getting snaps at running back. I mean, what are we doing?
they're bad. Bad that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
They don't have a runner. It's just
This might be the game of the week.
Yeah, this could be another
It
game.
is. It is the game of the week.
Bills at the Lions. I'm going to take the Lions at home. Dan Campbell has probably the biggest balls of any coach in the NFL. I mean,
Ever.
the guy just continues to go for it on fourth down when 99% of the other coaches would probably kick a field goal. It had backfired on him earlier in the game, and it almost backfired on him at the end when Goff's, tripped, and that was nearly a debacle.
kind of blew it in the playoffs last year too.
Yeah, he definitely blew that
their
game.
playoff.
That's
run.
He
what
did.
do every time they get there.
I agree, Colin. I think they're going to do the same thing this year. I think he's going to get too greedy and fucking blow the game instead of taking the points.
That's when you got to have another coach that can.
Yeah, but he's
I know that, but you've got
I
to
love
have
Dan Campbell.
you've got to have someone there that's gonna throw back shit at you because you can't just do it your way the whole every week because then you'll see it like it did last year.
It just doesn't matter as much in the regular season. If you
Yeah.
got, you got 11 wins and you can
Yeah.
take those chances.
Yeah.
You can't take those chances every single time. you
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, and even if they
Even
lose
though he
will.
does it,
He
will.
He will.
to the Packers last week, I mean they still were in first place.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, you do that, you're done.
Yeah.
There is no tomorrow.
It worked out for him, but he's definitely a risky coach. I mean,
No,
he's
I
a
got-
boomer bust guy. He's a leader of men. I think he's a great coach, phenomenal coach. But yeah, he definitely gets a little too risky with some of those play calls.
I'm sick of the Lions.
I got Detroit as well in this. I just think, it's going to be a back and forth game, and it might be whoever has the ball last. And I just like the Lions at home. I think Buffalo struggles on the road. Okay, they got killed in Houston, or they didn't get killed in Houston, but they were getting blown out in Houston. They came back. They still lost. They lost last week in LA, and I don't know where their third loss is, but I
They
bet
got
it,
blown out in Baltimore.
and they got blown out in
Yeah.
Baltimore. They don't
Blown
play.
out.
They don't play well on the road.
Allen's
So-
MVP though this year.
That's a problem for Buffalo.
I'm going to take Buffalo because I think they got a sour taste in their mouth from last week when Josh Allen absolutely balled out.
Good.
And I think Detroit's due for a loss pretty much. I don't really have any other reason other than that.
They pretty much are due for a
They've been
loss.
sneaking away.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit at home. I think Buffalo can definitely win this game. I think it's going to be a tight matchup through and through. But give me Dan Campbell. Give me Detroit. Their backfield. I mean, Montgomery and Gibbs has just been a power duo this whole year. I think they're both over the 1,000-yard mark this time. This point in the season. Goff.
If Dan Campbell cost them another playoff win, is he on the hot seat?
I don't think he's on the hot seat because he brought them back from the dead.
Yeah, if you're winning your division every year, you can't get fired.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
I don't know if
Yeah.
he's on the hot seat, but I mean, he definitely might be questioned more from people above him,
Yeah,
which could bring him back to reality.
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely lose a playoff game by doing some of the shit he did against Green Bay.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You
Those
100%
players
can't.
rally around
Right,
him.
they
And
like
that's half
him.
the reason they're
Yeah.
good. He motivates them
Yeah.
to play, and they play hard.
They
for
like
him.
him. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he's leading his guys. He's got Ben Johnson too calling plays. I think
Yeah,
that guy's an offensive guru. He's going to be the Bears' next head coach.
I'd hate to have him on the Bears next season. He's got the
Why?
best offensive line. He's got David Montgomery. He's got
Gibbs.
Gibbs. He's got
St.
good
Brown.
receivers. Yeah, I just don't. I just don't see it being a good thing on the Bears.
So what's your solution?
Vrabel, give me some Vrabel.
Then you
Hire the best offensive coordinator there is.
You still need to hire an OC.
Hire an OC. There's plenty.
Oh
of good-
yeah, that's worked out really well the last 12 years.
Vrabel will change everything that's going on in that building, and that's what I think we need.
Tennessee should have never got rid of Rabel.
No, I agree.
And to Stas's
I agree.
point, yeah, the Lions haven't been great for very long, but my God, they talk a lot of shit. I probably see more shit on Twitter from Lions fans than I have ever seen.
Oh, and the Packers don't.
It's them and the
Oh my
Packers.
God, I've been listening to Packers shit on Twitter my entire life.
Gruden. Stanley says Gruden for the Bears.
I'd like
I
that.
would.
I'd like higher.
Wouldn't make me any more. That'd be the worst thing that could ever happen. To me.
You think?
A 65-year-old or whatever it is couldn't win games when he was coaching.
Yeah.
No thanks. Hard pass.
Steelers, Eagles, the Battle of Pennsylvania. I got the Eagles at home, but there is some drama there between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, and I don't understand why, because they're dominant this year and they're right there for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, give me the EAGLES at home. But I haven't really been high. I have not been high on Pittsburgh all year, and they continue to impress me and win. So I expect this to be a very good game, but I like the Eagles at home. I just think they're too much. But look at how they played last week versus Carolina. Who the hell knows? I mean, Pittsburgh's better than Carolina, and watch the Eagles kill them. The NFL every week to week is.
I don't think the Steelers get killed because Tomlin, I think, is one of the best, if not the best coach in the
I
NFL.
agree.
And that guy knows how to have his team ready to go. So, but I got the Eagles.
I'll take the Eagles as well. I don't even know. Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. I like everything about Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
George Pickens is one of my favorite players, even though I think he's crazy. I'll take the Eagles here. AJ Brown's crying. He's going to get the ball shoved down his throat this weekend, I imagine. That's what happens every time he cries. So I like him for a touchdown as well this weekend.
Fly, Eagle, fly, baby. Give me the Eagles.
Eagles.
Give me the Eagles at home. I think Pittsburgh is frauds.
Okay, that's fair. I would think that if I had to pick an AFC team, that's frauds. It would either be the Steelers or the Texans.
They've won 10 games this year. I'm not taking any credit away from Sussy Wilson and Justin Fields.
Oh, no. Tussle.
Do you see that Steelers team winning a playoff game? I don't.
At home, yeah, I do. I see them winning their first round playoff.
I could
game
see
at
him
home.
beating the Broncos 3-6.
Only if he has a danger witch before the game.
What if they get the Ravens?
Well, then no, you're right. I would take the Ravens over the Steelers.
I think they're kind of locked into the 3 seed because they'd have to lose
I don't think
3 more games the rest of the year to get to 4.
Right, 5.
And the Ravens are stuck.
I don't think the Steelers are better than the Chargers either.
Well, so I got that the
Really?
Raven. The Ravens play the Giants and the Steelers play the Eagles. So Steelers are only going to have a 1-game lead probably going into next week with 3.
Yeah.
Steelers beat the Ravens.
Yes, I believe so.
So they kind of got that advantage too.
But
I think they still play again week 17 or 18.
Sussel needs a sandwich. I tell you what, he's been balling.
Sussy. I'm not a huge fan of Sussel Wilson. I think he was very good earlier in his career. But yeah, give me the Eagles. Saquon Barkley, he needs a shout out. That guy's been an absolute animal this year. I think he's top 3 in rushing.
Jalen Hurts steals all of his touchdowns. All of them.
Still a lot of them.
Yeah, I think I saw something on Twitter. It was like he got tackled 11 times at the 1-yard line this season, and he scored 0 of those touchdowns.
wow.
They tried to give him one last week, and he didn't get in.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, he got stuffed. So I like Philly. I think Pittsburgh's frauds. They might still win that division, but I don't see them winning a playoff game. I just don't.
That's a good division too, the Ravens.
I think the Vikings are frauds,
yeah,
I think
frauds as well.
my opinion.
Cole just doesn't like the skull chant.
I agree with
Cole-
Cole.
Cole just doesn't give any credit to anybody in the NFC North. I mean, it's just he
I
hates
think the Lions are good. I just fucking hate them now.
he hates the Lions after his Packers have beat up on him his entire life.
Cole doesn't even know what rooting for the teams that we got to root for our whole life. And what
Well,
we've had to
Jake,
go
some
through.
teams.
Well, he's still a
like
Cubs and
ownership
Bulls
like
fan.
myself. I mean, I am part owner of the team,
Part owner.
and we are
Yeah.
successful
Well,
year
you are,
in. Yeah,
right?
How much money do you give a year?
I don't give any. It's a one-time fee.
Oh,
It's
Christ.
purchase of stock. Okay, so
Bears
I'm an
should
owner,
do
and we're
something.
good every single year because we have good ownership at the top. Maybe the Dolphins should take something
Yeah.
from the Packers because they're not good most of the time. Anyways, we'll get off of that.
Yeah, Cole,
He
that's
says
300.
Super Bowl every year, and the last time they won one, he was in diapers.
I was 10 years old, Jake.
Well, you're
The
probably wearing
last
diapers
time the
at 10.
Dolphins won a Super Bowl, your parents weren't even born almost.
Oh yeah, Harker still brings up 1972
Yeah.
like it
My
was
dad is
2022.
older
They only
than
played
dirt,
15 games the
so
whole
he
year.
was alive.
This isn't supposed to be a tear down the Dolphins podcast.
Yeah,
is it? Jeez.
Well, we can lay into the Packers. I'm just holding on to it until we get to their matchup.
Let's go. Let's talk. Let's talk,
No,
Tanner.
we ain't even on
Let's-
them yet.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Patriots, Cardinals. I have nothing to say about Pittsburgh other than the Patriots. That Drake May is a pretty good quarterback. I think he's going to be very well in the NFL. A lot of people are high on him. They need to get him a wide receiver there. But I think the Cardinals get this one done. And I always think Kyler Murray is going to be pretty good, but they cannot find a way to win games.
I also like Drake May, and I also agree the Cardinals find a way to lose games every week. But this week they find a way to win. I got Arizona over New England.
Every time I think Arizona is going to blow somebody out, it just doesn't work. And I'm going to take New England because I think Arizona is going to win.
Yeah.
Every time I want Arizona to win, they lose. So I'll take the New England Patriots.
I agree with
It's a nice
Lucas
comment
said.
there, Lucas.
What do you say?
Cole is 100% still in diapers at 10.
I agree with that. Give me the Cardinals at home. It's a long flight from Foxborough. They got to go all the way to Glendale. I think the Cardinals are a better team than New England. Drake May has shown a lot of promise this year. I think he was a pretty good selection by them. I think he'll be a solid pro. But Arizona's got more weapons. Kyler Murray, he's not
Trey McBride.
Trey McBride. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. Connor's been having a very good year. He's just Mr. Consistency. Give me Arizona at home.
Yeah, we're all in agreement with Arizona.
Trey McBride popped up on the injury report today with the knee issue as well. Hoping he's okay.
I heard you're a big Trey McBride.
I'm a huge
guy.
Trey McBride.
He is
guy.
pretty
Probably
good.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite.
he's a good
Faster
tight end.
than Trey McBride a couple years ago.
Yeah, shout out Stash.
Yeah.
Bucks at Chargers.
Bucks, Chargers. I got Baker Mayfield in the Bucks on the road.
Don't they surprise you? I mean, they're Detroit's one loss is to Tampa. Every time Tampa, you think they're going to not win.
You can't rule out Baker
Right.
Mayfield.
You just can't. After winning at Detroit, you can't.
Fuck, they're the 4 seed right now. They're in.
Well, that's because they're winning their division. I'm
Yeah.
also taking Tampa Bay on the road versus the Chargers.
I'm going to take the Chargers because I like Harbaugh and he should be the Bears coach right now, but
Yeah.
we wanted to keep loose. This doesn't make sense. I like Baker. I think Baker's probably a top 10 quarterback in the league nowadays.
Yep.
But I'll still lean with the Chargers. I think they have good defense and a good offense, so I'm going to go with the Chargers.
This is one of my upsets of the week. Give me Tampa Bay on the road. Baker Mayfield's about to ball out. Mike Evans, first touchdown. You heard it here first.
What about name Bucky?
Bucky,
Is he
Bucky-
gonna play? He hurt his back and fucked me last week.
Bucky's been impressive. Rashad White has also been very impressive. They got a good running back room. Baker Mayfield, he's definitely had a resurgence in his career.
Agree. I mean, can we all agree, or do we all agree that he's just a good? I think
I
he's a good
think
quarterback.
Baker's
I think
good,
he's a
yeah.
good quarterback. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think he's awesome.
Baker's good. I think Darnold's good too. They
Yeah.
both went to Carolina and sucked. I mean, we know what the Carolina organization is. Everybody wrote them off. They got in decent systems with good coaching and good offenses around them. And him and Darnold have both produced this year. You
Yeah.
can't-
100%.
The
yeah,
Bucks also have Sean Tucker, who won Offensive Player of the Week. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure week 3 or so.
I spent all
Yeah.
my money on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got like 10 carries since.
yeah, Sean Tucker. Not a huge fan of Sean Tucker.
Now we get to move into this feeble matchup.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Brett says, "What's up to Tanner?" Sunday Night Football.
What's up?
At Seattle. Seattle,
man.
pretty damn good team. Geno Smith has resurrected his career there.
Yep.
They got some really good wideouts, which could be a huge problem because the Packers can't cover anybody if Jair's not playing. He did practice today, but I wouldn't bet on him playing this week. Might be getting a few other guys back. But I'm going to take Green Bay on the road. Josh Jacobs has been a dog this year. You can say what you want about the Packers, but Jacobs has been phenomenal. I think just hand the ball to Jacobs as many times as you can. We give Love 20 throws and walk out of there with a win.
Who's their schedule after today?
You still have the Vikings once, the Bears once, and I think we play the Saints.
They should go 2-1, I think, at a minimum. And that
I'm taking look. The Packers are a very good football team, and I think this is going to be a very good game. This is a great Sunday night football matchup. But I like Seattle. I like the 12th man. I think it's so hard. They have one of the hardest places to play in all sports.
Yeah.
The fans never sit down. They're always screaming.
Yeah.
And I just think that could become a problem. And look, like he said, Geno Smith's resurrected. He's been very good.
He didn't write back.
Seattle's pretty good.
He didn't write back.
No.
yeah.
I'm going to take Seattle here too. I really like a couple of their players. Jackson Smith and Jigba's awesome.
Yes.
Kenneth Walker, I don't know if he's going to play this week, but Charbonnet had a nice day while he was gone. 7
He's not a
catches.
bad backup,
Led the team
though.
in receptions, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I like Green Bay too. I hate Green Bay really, but I like a lot of their players. But Josh Jacobs is a beast. I'm going to go Seattle because they're home, and that's the only reason.
I can't remember the time I've liked a free agent signing as much as I've liked Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
He's been very
I
good.
wanted him with Bears.
He's been very, very good. Give me the 12th man. Give me the Seattle Seahawks at home. Geno's about to ball out. Fuck Jordan Love. And the Packers are going to
Hey,
The
Tanner,
Packers-
Jordan Love owns you.
the Packers are going to lose another heartbreaker, and I'm going to be sitting there on my couch eating popcorn, just eating it up. Fuck the Packers.
Jordan Love does own that.
We own the Bears, and nobody's had more heartbreaking losses this season than the Chicago Bears.
That they have had a lot of heartbreak.
Oh, the Bears are the
Look
team.
at the history of football.
Nick Wright was saying they're going to be in the Super Bowl. They've had the most disappointing season of any NFL team, in my opinion.
I do think you guys come into the season sometimes with too high expectations.
That's just not Bears fans. That's Chicago as a whole.
Well, I think it all just went downhill after the Commanders game this year. I think you lost in the locker room right after that.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
honestly, with a good coach, I think the Bears could be a really good team.
I agree.
I don't know if they're. I don't see them winning that division.
Well, I think they'd be the 6th or 7th seed
Yeah, it's possible.
with
How-
Vrabel. They'd definitely be in the playoffs, in my opinion.
How about the NFC North, though? Only Philly, all the other NFC teams would be in last place in that division.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Outside of Philly, it's a shit show. The Packers have had a great season.
you're in third.
Cole, I want to get your opinion on LaFleur. Last year, you were screaming that he should be fired after a loss, and
I think he's one of the best football coaches in the league.
They win so much that when they lose a game or two, they want everybody gone.
yeah, have you changed your opinion on him? I'm curious of your thoughts.
I've definitely changed my opinion on Matt. I think he's a pretty good coach. I think he's one of the better coaches in the NFL. He never gets any credit as far as Coach of the Year considerations. He's not going to this year. I understand they're 9-4 and they're third in the NFC North. But what he did last year, the team was sitting there at 4-8, and they ended up making the playoffs. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
If he wasn't there with Love, I don't think Love would even be the player that he is today. So I give him a lot of credit.
So he's not LaFleur.
And I think he does a really good job calling plays.
I think
Yeah.
So
I think he's a good coach. The Packers organization, man, it must be your leadership and your ownership, Cole, that really puts them over the top.
yeah,
Uh,
He's making all. They're calling him that for every.
they're trying to get me to those shareholder meetings in July. I don't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, year after year after year, they have a good team. It's so annoying. It
It's a
makes
little
my
funny,
blood
I
boil.
No, are we calling LaFlop or LaFleur?
I'm calling him Matt, first name basis.
Yeah.
Even my dad's grown on LaFleur. My dad hated LaFleur.
Yeah, they both used to call him LaFlop because he flopped a lot.
I feel bad for those Packer fans. They win too many games.
Yeah.
They win
Yeah.
that they
They
lose.
want to.
We're spoiled. We're
They wanna
winning
quit.
bad enough. They gotta look good.
They want a clean house when they have a 500 season. I mean, the Packers are just a perennial playoff team.
They remind me.
The one downside is they always lose in the playoffs, and I love to see it. Big Cat said it's a Super Bowl every year. I agree with him. Watching the Packers lose in the playoff brings me a lot of joy.
And
So,
we always have crushing losses.
That's all we have.
Yeah.
It's defeating losses.
Oh, it's
Root for it.
Last year we should have beat the Niners.
I agree.
They're your
That's true.
kryptonite. You better hope they
Yeah.
don't get in. If they sneak in and come to Lambeau,
The Niners
it
always
would
beat
not
us.
be good.
The Niners aren't going to make the playoffs this year.
What'd you say?
The Niners won't make the playoffs this year.
That-
I
I disagree. I think the Niners get there.
I think
They're
Seattle's going to keep
They can't
it.
afford one
I
loss
don't think
because the
Seattle's
Commanders are 8.
There's going to be a lot of
Yes.
who's all in the mix. The Falcons, Rams, Cardinals, 49ers.
It was a nice get right game for the Niners last week.
The Niners with a win have an 11% chance to make the playoffs, and they have to
Yeah.
jump. They have to jump the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Rams, who are above 500, and the Commanders, who are 8-5.
Got to win out.
Yeah, they got to.
Yeah,
They could. I think they got enough talent on that team to do it.
yeah,
I'm not saying they're gonna, but
it's going to be tough sledding if they make the playoffs, but they have definitely been Green Bay's kryptonite. I think,
Yeah, them and Seattle.
Yep.
yeah, Seattle too.
Seattle ruined it. 2014, we should have made it to the Super
you
Bowl.
should have took Seattle, Cole.
Which you played
should've.
Seattle this week.
Oh, was that Sussy Wilson again?
Yeah, Sussy.
Sussy.
That was one of the worst playoff losses ever. But
That wasn't the year that.
that was the year that they had the onside.
No, but was that the
kick
year
and-
that they were playing the Patriots and Brady,
yeah, they didn't run it. At the
Brady
one?
threw it and they should have
Yeah.
Russell threw it
Yeah.
and they should have ran it.
Yeah.
That was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that year. That should have been us.
God, if I was Pete Carroll and Sussy Wilson, I'd still have nightmares about that game.
Marshawn Lynch talked shit to him still about that.
Yeah.
He was on a podcast a couple months ago ripping Pete Carroll about that call. It's been a decade.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
He is probably right though. I mean,
Yeah,
No, I would say he's right. I mean, they had
Probably.
Yeah.
to get it into
It's-
the one.
You're on the 1 yard line. You got beast mode. Why would you throw the ball there? It was a horrible play call.
It was like Malcolm Butler or something.
Might have been Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm Butler with
Sat
the
Malcolm
The
Yeah, they
Patriots
sat
sat
Malcolm
next
Butler,
year.
yeah. The
yeah,
Eagles Super Bowl. That might have been why they lost.
yeah.
Pete Carroll to the Bears. I don't know. Is he like 75?
Well,
Yeah.
now we're talking about how old the coach is. Shout out to Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but his girlfriend goes to school at UNC.
Are you fucking
That's
kidding
really-
me?
No, I think that's just a running joke on Twitter.
He's
It is.
I didn't see it.
Bill Belichick is 72. He turned 73 before the season starts next year.
Hey, more power to him. He's 72, banging a 25-year-old. More power to him.
24.
He's not
Yeah.
going to recruit. There's just no way.
I don't think he's gonna. You can't out recruit the top of the Big Ten and the top of the SEC.
I
You
just
can't
think
do it.
No, you can't.
Warren say I won 6 Super Bowls.
Well, I don't think anybody wanted to give him the job in the NFL.
Right.
And he
Right.
wants to be
He must
like
not have.
he wants to be the general manager and run the show. He's too old to do that.
I think he wants to prove
Yeah.
that he can win.
By the way, he didn't do anything after Brady left.
No, and
He
he
didn't
didn't
do
do anything
anything.
before Brady.
He had a chance to draft a good quarterback. He drafted Mac Jones instead.
Didn't they make the playoffs one year with Mac?
They might have won.
I think they did make the
barely,
playoffs, yeah.
but that's barely. No, the other
Yeah.
2 years were awful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he
I
didn't
just-
do anything before or after Brady.
And all he does on ESPN now is rag on Caleb Williams, which drives me insane. So I don't want anything to do with him.
Josh said that Belichick's dad coached at UNC.
Yeah, 50 years ago. or
Did not know that.
There's some.
Well, let's hop into this Bears game. We got off topic a little bit here. I got the Vikings at home, an insanely tough place to play. The Skull Chance will be out. I hate the Skull Chance, and the Bears looked terrible last week against the Niners. I think that's a team, like we said, just the locker room's gone. They're going to have a new coach there next year. Honestly, I think Poles should kind of be on the hot seat. Myself, I think he's made some bonehead hires. Their GM.
Oh,
But I got the Vikings.
I got the Vikings too. Look, Cole will tell you, I've been very hot on the Bears all year. I think I picked them many of times, but I just can't do it this week. I'm taking Minnesota. Tanner, I want to know if you're going to be doing the Skull Chant this weekend.
Fuck no. The Bears are going to lose, but I'm not doing the skull chant. I'd never do that. Bears are going to lose. They're 7-point underdogs. They got to go to Minnesota, which is, like Cole said, is a brutal place to play. You guys think the Vikings are frauds? I think they're a very good football team. They got a good defense. They got a pass rush. They got a running back. They got a good quarterback. They got
Good coach.
They got a good coach. They got Jay Jetta.
How about Jordan Addison?
Jordan Addison has had a fantastic season. I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Chicago Bears, the locker room is gone. I think they should probably clean house. I think Poles should maybe be on the hot seat this year. they can't do anything right just as an organization top to bottom. They lose every single week. They depress me every single week.
10 year.
Chicago, it just
That's Cole. He's trying to rub it in.
they got Kevin Warren, who's supposed to be the architect of this new stadium. Only thing we've seen in 3 years is freaking 3D renderings of it. They can't get their shit together. They just can't. Big Cat,
Organization can't play in the cold. Has to build a dome. Can't play in the cold.
well, they,
I'm just kidding.
I'm going to take the Bears here because I'm a Chicago Bears fan, and I won't come on this podcast and say otherwise. I like Ryan Poles. I like what he's done. I think maybe you could have took an offensive lineman where you took Odunze. But if you're going to lose Keenan Allen going into next year, it looks good, and we can get an offensive lineman this year. Yeah, Minnesota's awesome. I mean, I don't think they're going to win any playoff games, but I don't think Sam Darnold's that good. He's had a great season. Probably comeback player of the year. But yeah, I'll take the Bears by 2 touchdowns.
Say Minnesota stays at the seed. Where do they go?
They probably would play Tampa, and they can definitely beat Tampa.
I mean, of course they could go play the worst.
The
fucking team.
same way I think the Packers could beat the Seahawks.
No, yeah, I that's a close game this week.
the Vikings could still be the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they
Cole,
definitely could.
That's you. So you might have to see Seattle twice.
Yeah.
I mean, if they win out, I don't know what Detroit's going to do. They got a really tough matchup this week. The Vikings could get that number 1 seed.
They could.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold has played fantastic. I probably should have taken the Bears just for pride, but
The Packers got to go to.
Take them. We'll let you switch, Tanner. Go back to the Bears.
Yeah, we got.
no, I'm taking Minnesota.
Oh my!
The
oh my!
Bears have lost 7 in a row, and the Vikings are one of the best teams in the NFC. So
The Bears also had no business even being in that game last time against Minnesota.
Yeah.
They ended up getting an onside kick. I think that's happened 3 times.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what the Bears do. They'll bring it back at the end of the game, lose in a stupid way. They do it every week. It's the same game every week. Last week.
Or they get
blown out like last week.
Yeah, they either get blown out or they come back. The Bears could have beaten all 3 of the NFC North teams this year. They had a chance. They could have beaten the Packers on the blocked field goal. I think they played extremely well against Detroit. I know Detroit didn't have their best week, but the Bears were definitely there. And then the shit with the Vikings, they could have won that game too. They laid an egg in overtime and lost. It's constant.
I think
Chicago
they definitely
doesn't
should have
lose.
beat the Lions.
I'm fully prepared to be watching the Atlanta game by the halftime of the Bears game. But I'm still taking the Bears.
Adam Williamson asks if any of us have been paying attention to the MLB offseason trades.
No, but the
Yeah,
Cubs.
if we
The
have any
Cubs are about
thoughts.
to do something the next day or two.
I saw something today that said they're going to get Tucker, but they're not going to extend him because he's on a cheap deal this year. They're going to keep him, not extend him, let him walk, and trade Bellinger.
Yeah, that's
What would be the point of that?
Because that's what the Cubs do. The Cubs are just they're a feeble ran they're a big market organization that's ran like a small market organization.
Kyle Tucker was hurt for a while last year, and he still had better numbers than he had.
Well, first off, they have a ton of money, and they
Who?
never signed the right guy. The Cubs, they never signed the right guy.
They always sign the fucking. There's tiers to players, and they always sign the middle people that are just at the bottom of the great tiers. They never want to pay. They never want to pay.
Well, they paid Soriano. That didn't
You
work
get
out.
Dansby Swanson when there's 3 better.
They paid Jason Hayward. That didn't work.
And I like Dansby Swanson. I
What are you talking about, Taylor? Jason Hayward, halftime, what was that? 7th inning pep talk got him a win.
Rain delay.
Worth every penny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one pep talk was worth what? What did he get paid? 200 million? 185 million?
He was such a stud for the Cardinals the year before, and then just fought, what was it, 4 or 5 years of nothing?
That's what they're going to do. I think that's what the Cubs are going to do because I feel like they're in win now mode, and I don't think you.
Lucas says that's Chicago for you. The
Yeah,
Cubs
that's right.
the Cubs are not a serious team.
No, and that it
It's
starts
just
up front. They're worried about asses in the seats, and they're worried about fucking Ricketts is worried about that goddamn soccer team he owns.
Hey, at the end of the day, though, he's a businessman. He's all about making
And then
money.
he needs to go.
Oh, yeah, those $12 beers, they make plenty of money on
Because
Yeah.
I'm
those.
so sick of the Cubs being good to just being good enough to not be good enough.
That's all they look at it though as.
It's a money grab. The Cubs fans need to stop showing up to the games.
Yeah.
Well, so do Chicago in general. The Bulls lead the NBA in attendance. The Bears sell out every fucking game.
I haven't turned the Bulls game on.
Um,
Yeah.
And the Cubs have the highest almost attendance in the league. I mean,
Chicago has these loyal fans.
because
And
there's
they can-
nothing else for us to do in the winter.
They cannot produce a freaking winner.
It doesn't
Outside
matter.
of the Blackhawks, we have one championship since what, 1998? Seriously.
Well, you're forgetting.
Well,
about
no,
White
the
Sox,
Sox. So two.
Oh, well, they don't count. They don't count.
The
I
Chicago
don't
team?
know.
You guys think about the Sox? I don't even care about that.
No, they did. ESPN didn't even that one time they put the Chicago championships. They didn't even mention the Sox.
Yeah,
How does that happen?
The Sox are the little brother.
yeah, they're a little brother, and they just came off the worst season in modern history. So
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
go back to
Brutal.
like the 80s,
There's still
90s.
be people in the
Yeah.
stands.
Oh, it was,
Yeah,
There's still be sellouts.
here's a hot,
We
here's a
went,
hot take on the White Sox. They're gonna move that team.
me, my dad, my brother, and
Yeah.
I don't
Stosh.
know when it's gonna happen. They're going somewhere.
Yep, Tampa.
Me, my dad, brother, and Stosh went to a Sox
Tennessee.
game last year for my birthday. There were $6 tickets each.
Yeah.
That's all they cost. You can't get into a Wrigley Field for less than 90.
You can't buy anything at Wrigley for less than
No.
$5. Even a fucking water, $6.
I
Yeah,
bought a sweatshirt last year. Wrigley Field was $100 and some.
Last year I wanted a water. I asked the vendor, and he goes, "There's a QR code in the back of the seats." I said, "Just give me a water."
If the Cubs would spend money and lose, I would be fine with it. If they would go out and get big players and say, "Hey, at least we tried," they don't even care. They know. They
Well,
know
they're
that
all
we're
about the
gonna-
farm system. Bunch of guys that you don't know about those guys.
Yeah, so I don't know why they're so scared to get rid of them. Not all of them. I understand you can't get rid of all of them, but
All right, well, let's go ahead and pick this final game of the week. Atlanta at Vegas. Vegas has one of the best stadiums in the NFL. I've been there. I got Atlanta.
I got the Falcons too over the Las Vegas
I think Penix should start.
Raiders.
no.
I think Penix should start, dude. Cousins is beyond feeble, dude. He is feeble as hell.
So you're saying you want the Atlanta Falcons to pull their Penix out?
Yeah,
They stole that from Big Cat. Big Cat.
yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, I'll take Atlanta too. It's not going to be a fun game to watch, but football's football. I'll take Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm taking Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons in this matchup. I think the Raiders are not a good team at all. They don't really have a quarterback. They don't have
No,
a running
there's-
back room. They don't really have any. Even though Jacoby Myers had a solid season, they don't really have receivers.
Brock Bowers, dog.
Brock Bowers is a dog. He might win Rookie of the Year. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan on the Raiders. I think they're really, really bad. I'm not big on Atlanta too, but they're,
Joey Dudek, Tanner.
what's that?
You're gonna upset Joey Dudek. That's his team, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Is he in the chat?
I don't know. He might be. He wants.
Do you agree, though? I think Cousins is complete dog shit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
The last
they
3 or
got
4
off
weeks.
to a good start.
The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's throwing like
He hasn't thrown a touchdown in 4 weeks.
he has no power on his throws. I mean, these
The
are
first-
just limp throws.
There's some
The
other.
first, the first 6-7 weeks though, he looked like he could be approaching an MVP candidate though. He was that one game.
Maybe the steroids ran.
I don't know if it
because
was
he
quite
looked
towards-
bad.
I
I
think.
don't know if it was
I-
quite MVP level, but
I think.
What that one week he threw for what 503 or 4 touchdowns?
Yeah.
yeah, he had some rough games in between there too. I think.
Yeah,
The
that's true.
Falcons and Kirk Cut, they have been doing too much swag. What's that thing they do in
Swag
Atlanta?
surfing?
Swag. They've been doing
They've been too much surfing and not enough swagging.
enough running the ball down the team's throats to win.
When they have one of the best running backs in the league.
right.
Yeah.
I agree.
He
Bijan's
run the ball good last week. Bijan had 98, and I think Algier had like 67 in a touchdown.
Yeah.
But that's only because Kirk can't throw in the red zone. You just can't trust
Yeah.
him. to do it.
He had a pitiful pick in the second quarter too. It was really bad. He threw it right to the defender.
He's
Uh,
move.
No,
Kirk.
I don't think Kirk's ever going to come back fully from that injury. But
I think this is his last year as a starting quarterback in
well,
the
you
NFL.
almost got to start him next year though, because you got.
I understand the contract, but do you want to win? Because I think Penix gives you the better chance.
It's hard to justify having a guy sitting on your bench.
Right. That
though.
owner's a dumb fuck for doing that and then drafting.
Yeah, why would he even? That didn't make any sense.
I think that was the worst pick of the draft. Penix might be good, who knows? But you just signed a guy for what, $90 million, all guaranteed.
100 some.
I don't watch a lot of
Yeah.
college football, but from what I watched of Penix last year, I liked him.
Yeah, he was
very
good
good.
last year.
He's got a cannon. If he can stay healthy, I think he might be a solid NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I just think he should be given a chance because I would not want to watch Cousins anymore.
Yeah, maybe you just bite the bullet, start your young guy, and have Cousins coach him up. I don't know what to do. They're,
Two guys who need to retire. One of them's Aaron Rodgers,
That
and one
is
of them's Kirk
true.
Cousins.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Rodgers should have retired when he lost that Sunday night game to the Lions.
Yeah, right. I think Rodgers.
He should have walked off the field like he was crying with Randall Cobb, and
I think he's making a joke out of his career. I think it's time to walk away. I think all the stuff he's involved in is just goofy.
he's 40 years old.
He's also 40. Yeah, I
He
just
might be. He's 39. It might be time to hang it up. I don't know.
Is undefeated.
Yeah, unless your name's Tom Brady.
I don't know. I don't know what Rodgers is always crying about though. He got his coach fired. He got the GM fired. He
Got
handpicked
Devontae
all,
Adams.
yeah,
he handpicked all of his friends to come play with him.
He's a diva.
I'm surprised they don't have Randall Cobb out there.
What's he crying about every week? Because he's playing like shit. Play
Every
better.
time he throws the ball, he goes,
Yeah,
I hate it.
He's upset. He's
Yeah.
ruining his legacy. Is what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. Yeah.
You need to just stop.
I mean, yes, his receivers have had some bad route running this year in games and at times, and he really hasn't had any running back help. Brees Hall's had a very down year. But I mean, he's just a little bitch.
the
Yeah,
thing with
100%.
Rodgers,
He's running
career.
the team and tries every single week and blames receivers. Like, get the ball to him. You're the quarterback. Get him the ball.
he doesn't take accountability.
No,
No, zero accountability.
I don't even think he did that on the Packers.
I just said that. His
Yeah.
entire he doesn't.
That was covered up. He was a lot better back then, and they were winning games.
He's just
Yeah.
he's not a leader anymore, and that's what it comes down to. I
Right.
think.
Jordan Love is a leader of men.
Oh,
He's
crap.
going to lead us to the NFC Championship game.
You think Jordan Love is the next franchise guy?
He already is the
Signed his
franchise
deal.
guy.
I know, but do you think he's gonna produce at the level of Favre and Rodgers?
Jordan Love's a good
Well,
quarterback.
if
I
you're
don't.
strictly talking statistics, he's going to throw for 30-some touchdowns every year.
I think Jordan Love's good.
I think Jordan Love's good too. I think he's better than Tua.
You had.
I think there's only like 6 quarterbacks.
He is better than Tua. Let's just be real.
There's probably 6 or 7.
Tua's had a great year.
He has.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love's gonna be a top 10 quarterback. I just at times I don't know.
He's also still.
But you
super
got to
young.
remember,
Yeah,
though,
he's
you got to
very
remember,
young.
and this is something that I think we all.
He's not that young anymore.
He's 25.
He's 25 years old.
5. Yeah.
I mean, this is his second year fully starting.
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
how long he sat for what, 3 years?
Which helps though.
Yeah,
that's what
I
the
mean-
Packers do.
That's
That's
what
why the
they do.
Packers have good quarterbacks year after year.
Because they know the system.
Yeah.
They know the offense. That's
You don't just walk in and take
Right.
over the day one like the Bears do it. Obviously I wanted Caleb to start,
Yeah.
but that's just what the Bears do with every rookie quarterback they have. They just throw him to the wolves or sign Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
Which I'd rather just throw him to the wolves.
Yeah, the Bears they do throw their quarterbacks to the Wolves and then they fire the head coach the next season after they draft them. So that makes zero sense.
If you're gonna throw your quarterback to the wolves, you got to have a good coach.
Yeah.
I mean that you got to have somebody like Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Somebody like that. You know. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. So maybe Vrabel is the answer, but you're still going to have to hire an offensive coordinator unless you think Thomas Brown's going to take over that
I'd
responsibility.
even overpay for I'd overpay for one of the best OCs in the league. Because Vrabel will change everything there. I just like him. I think he's a big football guy. I don't know.
agree.
What? Do you think the Bears should hire the Bills OC?
No, I don't
Joe
want. I
Brady?
don't want to.
Joe, yeah.
I could coach up Josh Allen. There's just not much.
Yeah, go out there and do your thing.
Yeah,
I think Josh Allen's probably going to win the MVP this year.
I think it's no doubt he's going to win it now. He's had some things.
Do the Bills and Baltimore have one more matchup?
No,
No.
not in the playoffs.
That'd be
Yeah, they
nice.
could meet in the playoffs.
Well, I know the Bears and the Dolphins will not be meeting anybody in the playoffs. So
You're right.
I don't know about the Dolphins.
Dolphins
Don't
are-
worry, don't worry, Tanner. In the second week or third week of January, you can get to watch the Packers lose in devastating fashion.
yeah, I'll be sure to text you.
Thanks. A lot of people
Yeah.
do stories on those nights.
Yeah.
So, thanks for coming on, Tanner and Ren.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I like coming on the show.
Tanner.
What's that?
We'll do an Illini game.
Absolutely. I'll be in studio for one. Actually, it'll be my fourth appearance on the podcast. I haven't been in the studio yet. So
you're probably the most. You probably have the most appearances.
thank you. I appreciate that. I just have a wealth of knowledge on all facets of sports.
Oh yeah, you do. Tennis especially.
Yeah.
All
Bear down, Packers.
Bear down. The Packers suck.
We'll see.
See you, Tanner.
Boys, thanks
See ya.
guys.